Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Hello and good evening, everybody. As you can see, I am all by myself here in the Brick Something studio because, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, unfortunately, my co-host today, Jonathan from HedgeHogAction, is dealing with the world. So I absolutely reached out to him as soon as I heard that he's got some stuff going on and told him, hey man, it's totally cool. You take some time and we will reschedule, which is kind of a bummer because Jonathan's a homie. Jonathan, like a couple of folks who are in the chat right now, Shiny Plastic People, Allison, who else was on there? Alpha Magnus, Kayla, and Johnny from GTFO are just some great folks who we all kind of just started doing the YouTube thing, content creation thing, kind of around the same time. And we were all coincidentally hanging out every weekend in the Geek Dad live chat, and then eventually as patrons. Anyways, got to know Jonathan there, and I've been happy to sort of see HedgeHogAction, the channel, doing its thing, and him doing his Saturday day live shows. So anyway, all that to say is I was excited to have him here, and was hoping that we could, actually share some streaming space today, but we're going to have to postpone. So definitely just, keep checking in. Actually, hey, subscribe if you aren't already, and check back to see when we're going to have Jonathan back here. So love goes out to him and his family who have things going on. So we will see you soon, Jonathan. With that said, let me honor the true first this time, although he likes to claim first. What's going on, Berserk? He's going to be here on the channel in about 3 weeks, 3 Sundays from now. And yeah, they're kicking off their sort of rebrand of the channel. So the Collection Nexus is going to be happening. You're going to learn about that the next 3 weeks, because I'm going to have those 3 guys here in succession to kind of just hang out with them and then just, talk toy collecting and all that good stuff. We've got Chris, Shiny Plastic People. Good to see you. Don't want to be. Yeah. We've got Action Figs, evening. He's calling me the Brick Enabler. Nah, I'm just, as I swear, it's all about window shopping, people. Just, just window shop. Good to see you, Ed. Let's see. Man, Ed and fam kept me up late last night. We were on Oz's channel till like 2 a.m, and this old man is sleepy. We got Ray in the house. What's going on, Ray? Always great to see you, sir. We have Thanos manning the links. Thank you so much. Game Quest, great to see you. Rick Jones, hope you're doing well. Is it wet in your area? Because it sure as hell is wet over here. Oh, and did you go to the San Jose Toy Show this weekend? I opted not to, just because too many things going on, plus Dune 2. Shai Hulud, baby, which I'll get to in a second. But yes, if you did, how'd it go? Yes, in fact, it is raining. There you go. Cobweb, what's going on, Jacob? Great to see you. Carol, always wonderful to have you in the chat. Kenzo, good to see you, buddy. Happy Sunday to everyone. And Rick Jones is first again, just because, there's lots of firsts. Brian Brink is here. What's going on? Good to see you. And let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, good to know. Yes, San Jose Super Toy Show was a great one. Good. Let me know what you picked up. Diggs Figs we've got in the house as well. And yes, I know I'm a big whining West Coaster. It was 2 a.m. for me, but 5 a.m. for them. So I don't know how you're awake, but what you gonna do? All right, folks. Let's see. Before we start, I mean, since I don't have a co-host, let me go ahead and I've been wanting to check in with some of the stuff that I've been picking up lately. So some quick pickups, and this is stuff probably for the last 3+ weeks, 3 weeks or so. Some of them were just random, not sort of random. I had so much fun shooting my my APA for the shorts that I went to kind of take a look at how much those McFarlane Avatar figures were, and I got some pretty cheapo figs, like both of these less than $20. So I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was excited for the show. I was kind of building that hype up for myself. So these guys are great. I have Sokka. So I was always wanting Zuko. I'm like I very much cherry pick and often always will look at McFarlane figures in my local stores just to kind of see what they look like. But yeah, the Sokka's dope. So I needed to get the Zuko. I've always wanted him and just kind of forgot about him, honestly, till the show came up. And of course, Aang, he looks great. I have plans for this one. And honestly, I needed that Momo. Anyways, those were dope. Let's go ahead and keep it in the world of McFarlane. If you've been watching the shorts on the channel, I first picked up Chani from Dune, or Chani from Dune Part 2, aka Ms. Zendaya. And I personally think this is such a awesome looking sculpt if I can ever get it to focus. She looks great. Their flat paints on these are a little odd, McFarlane. I feel like you could do a little bit of maybe some shading, but anyways, still rad. And the soft goods on this thing are wild, I gotta say. So this thing was like $11 or so. And then I was building up hype for the movie. I'll get to this in a second, but Dune is my favorite piece of fiction. I love that book. It's like crazy layered. It's the kind of sci-fi that like I love. But anyways, more on that later. Got this guy who apparently is the platinum variant. Found him at Target. This head, I guess, is the Chase figure. Whatever. I just thought it was better. I don't like their they've got like a Timothy Chalamet that looks like he's got a little too much water retention. He's like extra thick. But again, cool with these like soft goods that I can repurpose and use and just I think actually look really good. The base on these are cool too. They're not like some, no offense to the McFarlane fans, but just a round piece of plastic that says McFarlane Toys or DC or whatever. It's like, I know who they are, but you're giving me like a little Dio stand, which is really dope. Let's see. So that's Avatar and Dune. That was like my just getting prepped for the new shows and movies. So real quick, let's check in so far with what folks have. Chris, Shiny Plastic People, is deeply offended by me calling out McFarlane's, I'm assuming, if that's what you meant, by their stands. But no, here's what you actually do. You actually throw them away or into your bin. Yeah. So you picked up Zuko and I'm assuming Aang a while back when they're on super duper sale. Yep. Rick Jones is grabbing some McFarlane's too. I got a McFarlane the Max, an old Wonder Woman, and the Poxus Wave Evil Purple Wizard, all at the show. Nice. Who was selling them at the show? Was it those folks? Was it the folks over in yeah, I guess you could just answer that. Who's at the show locally? That's cool. And then let's see. Yeah, that Max fig is solid. Let's see. Third Max over the years. I remember that Max. Back when I was in UC Santa Barbara, there was a comic book store that I'm forgetting about, but I remember grabbing that. Don't know where it is now. Let's see. Hey, we've got Steph in the house. Steph was the guest last week, so I'm stoked to have you here. $11 is a great price for figures. It's that dangerous, like buying it when maybe I don't actually need it price. Oh, good. There were 3 vendors selling 4 Horsemen. That's fun. All right, let's see. And I'll get to the. No, I'll do that now. Where are you at, Adam? Adam's asking, is that a Shai Hulud band? No, it's not. But Shai Hulud is a dope band. Cool brutal metalcore. This is a shirt that I actually designed because I wanted to wear it a couple years back because there weren't enough cool Dune shirts. It's actually the mouth of a Shai Hulud, and in Fremen writing, bless the maker, bless his coming and his going, and yada yada yada. Again, because I'm a nerd. Oh, forgot this guy. I don't know why I got him. I actually don't like his design in the movie, but it's Fade Ralpha, so there it goes. All right, a couple of quick other, let's just do pickups because again, I don't normally get to do this, so I'm glad to talk toys with y'all. And if you have any of these, I am kind of curious to see what folks think of them. This guy is a pretty damn good figure. I'm super impressed by this Dungeons and Dragons Alcorn. I knew I would be. Oh gosh, what is his name? Zarek, the little green orc dude or goblin or whatever he is from last year, made it to my best of list. This guy, I was just like, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be just as good. It's I was going to say it's better. It's better in terms of accessories. It's a little fiddly with some of these bits that are a little odd, but it's a really great figure. And is it his left hand? I think it's his left hand. Pops right out for some reason. So that's annoying. So I need to get a little bit of super glue or like acrylic base to kind of thicken up that peg. But man, such a cool figure. Moves in ways that I had no idea. And the sculpt on that is pretty cool. What else? Mythic Legions. I ordered my stuff from a retailer, but I guess I don't know why. Probably because Zenday wasn't available there. I ended up ordering them from a different retailer, Rabbit Tail Customs, I think is what they're called. Oh, no, Rabbit Tail Hobby, that I've ordered from before, had some credit. And so I guess I pre-ordered him separately and completely forgot about him. And he just showed up at my work this week. So was that this week or last weekend? I don't know. But this figure, damn. I'm partial to the magic head. I mean, what's to say about like Four Horsemen stuff? Like every single time, the paints, the sculpts are just mind blowing, and I guess that's why I get so impressed by like retail figs, like these ones that I can get NECA, because I think they're on par with the level of quality that I'm used to from the Four Horsemen. So absolutely a fun surprise, man. That stupid thing where you spend money and you forget. Yes. Let's see. Oh, and last but not least, no, not last but not least. This one I got, I think, pretty damn early, like 2 weeks or so ago, and I still haven't opened them. More than 2 weeks ago. This is the Bombus Bee exclusive Veteran Williams from the Furay Planet line from Maestro Union. Sebadam's, all his designs and sculpts. I was waiting for this thing for such a long time and still just haven't unboxed him. So yeah, I opted to go with the white furred version, and he looks rad. I just haven't found the time to unbox him. I think I'm intimidated because I want to display him. This guy has enough parts to display him without the clothes, so you're gonna have to take him apart and all that. And I just, based on my experience with the Master Wang, another favorite of 2023, I know that opening them up and going through them is going to be involved. And yeah, last but not least, these guys showed up this week. Yeah, and I've been sitting on them and finally unboxed them last night over on the Ostradamus Toys Clubhouse. If you want to go check that out, that was last night. I think I unboxed this guy first and then left to go watch Doom 2 and then came back and unboxed this guy. But these things are wild. They remind me of like Ogre Scale Mythic Legions, but even more highly posable. I'd say highly posable. Awesome, double knee action. Just I can do gung fu with my Minotaurs, because Minotaurs no gung fu. Right on. What's up, Obi-Wan? Good to see you. Veteran Williams is dope AF. FS for sure. MF. Did I order the Monkey King skateboard deck? I did not. I did not. Because my knees will hate me. Game Quest. I love that Golden Axe line. Just afraid you might have thought that this guy was. This is a Dungeons and Dragons, or maybe you were just wondering. This is a Dungeons and Dragons. Maybe it made you think of the Golden Axe line. I do have that dwarf with that cool little chicken thing. Checking if he's here. He's not here. But you're saying you're worried about catching up. Just look out for deals, because there's some pretty good deals on that Gilius Thunderhead. That's his name. As well as, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. She's awesome, although she has a weird 80s bikini on. With the blue dragon. Oh, I suck. But there's deals on her as well. So, yeah. Did I get any figures in the Horseman in stock sale? I did not. I held strong. Steph and I were talking about it last week. I was like, I asked her, did you get any? And she kind of gave me this awkward, like, well, I kind of have everything. And I don't have everything, but I think I have everything that I need at this moment. So all that stuff there, I wanted some, especially some of those $26 builders, but I still have the rest of Poxus coming in. I'm just waiting for Arakagor. No, Arakagor's in the pile of loot now. Who am I waiting for? I'm waiting for Kalazir, the Jinn, to show up in my pile of loot, and then I will ship. So that said, knowing that those were coming, knowing I'm waiting for Necronominus all in, knowing that I've been waiting for Outpost Zaxius, I think, all in, as well as the most recent Rising Suns. I just like in stock sale. Gotta wait. Thank you, Steph. Yes, I know. I'm holding strong, but yes. What's going on, Tony? Great to see you. Great to see your work all the time and just see you in the chat. And yes. Okay. I think that's it for my pickups. Yeah. That's it. That's too much is what that is. But yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and actually start the show up proper. Just a reminder, if you're new or you're watching this on replay and you've never checked it out before, this is the Brick Something News every Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. It actually stands for the Needless Ephemera We Saw, because that's not actually news per se. You'll see some newsy type bits, but you'll also see a bunch of random crap that I want to talk about because I'm a nerd. So that's what we're doing. And so much random crap that down there, that QR code and in the link here during the live, Thanos will be dropping in those links as we go through. But after, I'll upload them into a Google Doc that is accessible if you scan that, or go down to bit.ly/brick something news, capital B, capital S, capital news. And you can see all the links there, as well as all the links from like the past shows. It's important to me that folks check stuff out, because I want to, definitely signal boost stuff, but also give you direct links so you can sub to some folks and follow them on Instagram and do all that kind of thing. But yes, Ed, it's just for window shopping, not for spending money. So act responsibly. Holy crap, we've got Brian Brink as a new member. I appreciate that, Brian. Brian knows what it's like to work on these things, and getting any kind of support with resources like that, man. Thank you for that commitment, and it means a lot. So if you are a member, just check out the community posts for some members only messages there about signing up so that I can get your info and send you some goodies that I want to send right away to every member. And then, yeah, I've already dropped a couple of little things, some photos, as well as some members only videos. So check those out. This week, yeah, I'm posting stuff there that will we'll never see light on the main channel. So check it out. All right. The service, I tell you, my bad if I missed it. Yeah, not spending money, never thought about that. No, just don't. Otherwise, you're gonna be really tired because apparently you're telling your body per the chat earlier. Allison Troy, great to see you. And let's go ahead and start the show proper. Let's start with the actual sort of like, let's see, the stuff we'd seen, right? So I should probably pop over here and let's look at, let's start. Yeah, let's go ahead and start with this. I'm not sure if you're familiar. There's this line called Animal Warriors of the Kingdom that I'm a shill for, admittedly. But I love it. This thing not only helped me a lot sort of figure out the channel because it led to me creating videos about this toy line that I just didn't see anybody talking enough about during their first Kickstarter for the Primal series, these 6-inch figures. If you follow the channel, you know that like early on, I made a video and talked a little bit about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom and was super excited because there didn't seem to be enough chatter about this like dope line. And I just kind of wanted to throw out some info. And then I met Adam, highly articulated that way. And we started a series called Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Talk or AWOK Talk. And then started doing this thing called Monkey Business Live over on his channel. Anyways, that line, as you know, is doing a Kickstarter, and it's going to kick this Wednesday, is what I understand. So this is the actual sort of like holding page. It's ready to go. But this was the stuff that will be in that wave, along with some other things that haven't been revealed yet. And this was all thanks Comics 1017. Again, I showed this last week when Steph and I were talking about them. These are just the paint masters that were available at ZoloCon in PA last weekend. And so there's definitely, it's basically a couple of brand new bucks for the line, including we've got this, the sort of, is it Brute? Yeah, I don't know why my brain. This sort of thicker warrior buck, and then we've got the lizards right here and down here. This is a lizard. And then let me go one lizard, then come back. Hold on, one lizard. I think I showed it last week. Oh, missed it. It's this guy down here. Red lizard. Awesome. And then, not to skip over her, we've got Mala. So this is a new buck as well. The first time we're getting some women in the line. About time. So this is wave 5 now. So technically the Kickstarter is wave 5 and wave 6. I know this is repetitive if you've been here. I just wanted to give people a heads up because it is this Wednesday and there's some other things that I want to clue you into. These are the speedster buck. Yeah, the smaller buck. Apparently I learned today from Adam, highly articulated, that this guy is printed here a little bit big. So he's going to be a little smaller. It's a little over 100% printed out here. So he will be a little bit smaller than your main figs. This is using that same brawler buck. Did I say brute? Brawler buck. There's that brawler buck again with that Kali Prime, Jadu, another woman fig, and then Kanji in the speedster buck. So that said, I know it's kind of like old hat here on the Brick Something channel, but what is new is that tonight, after this show, in about an hour and 1 minute. You can see Adam from Highly Articulated, as well as Spero's Jason Bienvenu, owner, operator, designer, brilliant dude, but also loose lips Jason, who, if you show up there later and ask him a lot of questions, he will probably spill the beans. So on a bunch of stuff that he maybe shouldn't. So check it out after this. If you, sorry, Allison. What is AWOK again? I know you're not familiar. I want to say it's like angry. No, never mind. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Yes, as you know. Payne's, great to see you. Happy to see you here, buddy. Yes. Oh, hopefully you're still here. If not, take care, man. We appreciate you too. Hang in there. Again, these people, see, this is why Adam and I have to repeatedly talk about AWOK, because you all just aren't listening. Like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. See, Rick, man, you gotta just yeah. And good, Adam, I'm glad you're listening. And I hope you're preparing your notes. I hope you're getting ready to rein Jason in, because in about an hour, Adam is making his first Geek Dad Life appearance, which is great. So yes, animal crackers, fun. Are they all crackers? Oh wait, I think you meant something else. My bad. And then let's see. Yes, there was a chunky buck in there. Yeah, my bad. Not brute scale. I meant brawler scale. And they're about 6 inch. They're about 7 inch, I think. They're not super huge. The fox is cool. I'm actually sad that you don't have any AWOK in your life, Chris. I think you need some AWOK in your life. Nice to see that you were sticking around for a little bit. Yeah, they are Kickstarters. Thank you for pointing that out, Aaron. This is a Kickstarter, but everything in the Kickstarter will absolutely be available at retail. They just my understanding is about $100,000 that they're trying to raise to help make this thing move along. But my understanding is also that a lot of the work is already being done and the money's been invested. But as you'll find out later today on this channel, there's going to be a lot of really good stuff and some good incentives for you to check out the Kickstarter. Possibly even some of the best prices you'll get on these figures. And definitely some things that are very cool. Yeah, anyway. Ray Black, great to see you. Hello. Action at Figuratorium, thank you. What's old is what's new. Good. Mythic Dolphin, great to see you. Thank you for that, because that's a wonderful transition. Mythic, it's like you should be here. Flipor. Sorry, this sculpt is a prototype. It's a little suspect, but yeah, that's a prototype. Heads up. I just learned that from watching these guys talk about it. And by these guys, I mean Mad Hatter from Mad Hatter Reviews, who Flipor is the brainchild of. I remember him sort of going on with this bit essentially about Flipper Frank and jumping in on Mega J's channel shortly after the whole Wondar Motu Origins debacle. What was that? 2 summers ago now. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember that entirely well. But so anyway, the story behind this character is Mad Hatter had some regular experiences seeing flippers in his LA area targets, as well as dealing with the Wondar mess. And so he came up with this character, Flipper Frank, and started throwing it out there, and a couple of people got together, were wondering like, hey, well, what if we actually made a toy of this? And so it was him. Let's see who else was involved. Renders FX, who did a lot of the early prototyping and worked with them throughout the project. He was a guest here 2 weeks ago, I want to say now. Genma, Sinopa, Mega J Retro, and what's his name? Mr. Home Arcade, I think, had some involvement, as well as Ramen Toy Ace. And so you can hear all about that on a couple of different streams that they've been doing. So if this is first, I'll get to that in a second. This is the campaign. They're shooting for, what's the goal? The full goal is $100,000 in about 4 days, 3 days. They've raised $70,000 already with 575 backers, and they still have 28 full days to go. Part of the reason that you should consider, if you're into this, backing quickly, is that there is some early bird incentive to do so. So let's take a look really quick. So here's the announcement of the 60K. That was yesterday. Here's the origin story. You can check that out. If you know Mad Hatter, which I'm sure everybody here does, dude's hilarious. He's a writer by trade, so coming up with random ideas and just kind of like tossing out bits is kind of his forte. And so they developed this character in the Masters of the Universe vein. He is Flip-Or, the flipper of toys. He's got an action feature which will be built into this figure of this sort of highlight style scoop when he walks into your target and scoops all the figures right out in front of your face. And you've got some bot alternative versions here. Here's the comparison to a Battle Armor He-Man. How Flip-Or measures with other completely non-related figures. And so they go through the whole thing. And let me quickly, there's the action feature. So just fun stuff, you know, especially playing on the nostalgia of that, oops, I just realized this is super small, folks. Sorry. Whack. Here's the flip bot. Playing on the nostalgia of that buck, right? That 5.5 inch buck in that pose. So you can kind of see all the work that's in this. As I said, Renders, who was here a couple of weeks ago, helped work on this and kind of take their 2D sketch and turn it into a 3D prototype or 3D sculpt. And then they worked with Ace to kind of like figure out what they needed to do with engineering. A couple of bonus things like the Cloak of Tarjay. This was unlocked yesterday. The Scepter of FOMO, aka the Time Bringer. There's still more to be revealed. So I'll let you go through all these. You can see these different variants: Stealth Flip-Or, the Gold Flip-Or, and there's a glow-in-the-dark one that unlocks at $90,000. And I know that's going to happen at least by, I would say, what, Tuesday, maybe even tomorrow. So this is awesome. All right. I want to alert you to a couple of streams. This was their 30,000 stream over at Mad Hatter. Just entertaining period. Always just listening to that guy. So check it out. You want to see a creator in shock at how fast things are moving and see a creator be validated, because it's awesome. I think genuinely he and everyone involved was just shocked that this thing is moving so quickly, and I'm happy for them. Same here with the 60,000 video. And then, speaking of GDL, he was with Jay. Mad Hatter was with Jay on Friday. He had a marathon of a day streaming, kind of talking about the campaign. This is a great place if you want to hear the sort of origin story. Hilarious, fun. For me, it was kind of nostalgic. And then him and Mega J running way late into the night, Friday night, talking all about the campaign. So definitely go check those out. Curious, is anybody here planning to back it? Just curious. Yeah, definitely check out Mad Hatter. Hilarious. Let's see. All of these look great, but oh, sorry, dude. This is old. I'm way behind. Yes, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. All of them look great, but you're mostly looking forward to Jadoo. Excited to have Speaking Moistly here, especially since it's what was it, Mermania this week. Good to see you. Let's see. Oh, I learned today, Mythic and everybody else here from Adam, that $650 US will get you all in with some apparently extra spicy exclusives. That's like the big end deal. That's I my understanding is that's not what it's going to cost necessarily to get every figure. That's maybe a special deal, but we'll find out soon enough. Listen today at GDL in about 50 minutes. Let's see. Combat creatures versus AWOK. Who would win? Please no betting. Probably not much of a surprise, but I would say Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, just because I think most people don't realize that there is magic and technology in this world, and there's some fun little secrets going on with the lore. So I think, sorry, Bo, but combat creatures can't stand a chance. Have no chance. Yeah, we've got some Team AWOK folks. Man, you guys are all about it. Thank you. Been preparing and saving for the AWOK Primal Kickstarter. Great. Adam corrects me. They're actually trying to raise millions, but 100,000 is the goal to unlock all of the bucks. So yes, ultimately their goal is to raise millions. GameQuest says, I love that Spero's allowing a couple of paycheck periods for three to plan for the Kickstarter purchases. Yeah, I think in general, most of them last about 30 days or so. So actually, I guess I'm a little unclear what you mean by a couple of paycheck periods, depending on folk stuff. I'm a teacher, so I get paid monthly, which kind of sucks. But I know maybe some of you get paid a little bit more frequently than I do. The Kickstarter will absolutely, I was trying to do my best Adam impression, be the best price you'll get on the AWOK figures. He made sure of it personally. That was something that he and I talked a lot about. I just kind of shared my thoughts on as indie toy lines and toy lines in general continue to do the crowdfunding. I have some strong opinions about what needs to happen with those Kickstarters. I feel like if you're going to get people in early, there needs to be a lot of incentive, and people need to feel real good about being a part of that effort. So this being one of them, making sure that it's the best price you'll ever see on the figures. That's the way to go. Shiny Plastic People likes to think he pioneered the toy tuber action figures. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of crisp plastic action figures thanks to Hasbro Selfie Series. If you ever see a selfie series with a beard and mustache, you basically have a crisp, shiny plastic people action figure. It's true. He's an innovator, folks. He just doesn't even, he's just, a little bit shy about it. Let's see. It's interesting that the stretch goals unlock before it funds. If you're talking about at this point, yes, flip or, that is interesting. Because it's maybe a little terminology. The whole thing has to fund first. Sure, fair enough. But I don't know. So maybe go check out all the flip war stuff. I need to move for sure. Alpha Magnus, good to see you here, man. I need the glow in the dark the flip off hands. Yes, that is the early. Oh, thank you. That's the early bird exclusive. It's the throwing of the bird hands that are exclusive. And again, those ones that I showed you earlier are prototypes. So hopefully the sculpt is a little less phallic. Or maybe if you're into that. Chris backed it. Thanos backed it. Action Figuratorium backed it. Alpha Magnus backed it. There you go. This is why they are past 70,000 already. Allison Troy is about 75-25 in favor of backing, with 75 being the yes. Apparently it's Merman March. I just thought it was this week. Thank you. Hashtag Tides of March. What's going on? Hyperdelic. Thank you for joining us. Alpha Magnus, it's very brave of you to share with this audience that you don't have AWOK yet. But yes, I highly encourage it, man. At least get one, get your hands on one, and and just to sort of get a sense of what they're like, because I think they are one of the best toy lines out right now, especially at the price point. The articulation's amazing. The sculpt is amazing. If they added a little bit more paint deco, for me, it would easily be the best toy line right now, actually. Just saying. Manic Mike, what's good? What's good, man? Good to see you. And let me see. Nice. Mythic Dolphin. 650 for the all-in. My other half has already said yes. Okay, we met Jason at Legions Con 2023. Backing his Kickstarter was a given and planned since November 2023. That is awesome. Definitely just check out GDL later and to get more details, and then it opens up this Wednesday. So yes. Some opinions. Hey, what's up, Jeff? I think the way that the Flipboard folks are doing the unlocks is the way it should be done. It's a huge help to drive the funds up. So I'm assuming this is what Chris brought up. Yeah, that as they go, once they hit a certain backing number, it unlocks these tiers or these bonus unlocks or whatever, which again is very sort of like a HasLab, right? And I think that's cool too. My only question is, if they don't hit their goal at all, you don't get anything, correct? So that's what I assume. Anyway, Hybridug's going to back it. Speaking Moisty's going to back it. Yeah, tell me about those Mythic Legions, man. Mythic Dolphin was backer number 3 for Flipboard. Well done. Fair enough. I prefer the few. I'm assuming you mean Fury Planet. These guys versus Fury Toys, like the turtles and the sharks. But I get it, and I'll like I said, these have the paint that I like. But if they got this level of paint on an Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, forget about it, man. Game over. Those sorts are rad. And yeah, that's what I thought. Adam's like naming it. It is weird to try and move things forward, but like nothing's actually unlocked unless they hit their funding goal. That said, they're going to hit their funding goals. So for them, at least, it's neither here nor there. When everything is the same tooling, you can do the goals earlier that fill backing. It's new tooling that is in the after funding tiers, I would guess. Yeah, that's the thing with the Flipboard. Most of it's pretty straightforward in terms of tooling. It's basically repaints of the figure with the exception of the bot head, I believe. So yeah, I hear you on that. Talk to Adam. He might get you one for free. Yeah, I said it, Adam. Make it happen. Let's see. And yes, the goals are just something to celebrate, which is clearly effective. It's marketing, right? It's a bit odd though. And Renders is in the house. AWOK and Fury are really impressive across the board. Again, I always got to make sure, are we talking Fury toys, which are those turtles, aka Rage toys, and the sharks? Or is it Fury Planet by Maestro Union? It's really confusing because there's a lot of furry animals out there right now. But yeah. Oh, thank you. I thought I mentioned it. I did mention Ace, but yes, Obi-Wan Chingones. They're working with Ace from Fury Toys, which is who helped with basically help them figure out like a lot around the engineering in particular and production. So yeah, they're in good hands with someone who understands the production end. So great work, Renders, again on those. Let's go ahead and move on. AWOK and Flipboard are not the only Kickstarters, man. It's going to be wild. We've got a couple things going on. First off, these Galactic Valor by Foxforge Toys have been announcing that their Kickstarter is coming. My understanding was that it was supposed to be like maybe now, like really early March. And I thought this weekend was the weekend that they were going to kick off, but maybe not. But it's coming, and it is something that you can check out and sort of what's the word? You can go check out the Kickstarter page. It is here. and it'll be in the link down there eventually at the end of the show, or maybe Thanos can drop that in. Actually, yeah, you know what? I will drop it in because I have it. Don't worry about it. But this is the holding page, so it's coming super duper soon. So just, it's going to be a trip though. I asked earlier on Adam's stream, like, man, with all these folks doing Kickstarters around the same time, what would you say to these folks? And he's of the opinion that, like, hey, there's never going to be a good time. Just go for it if people want it. And I'm super simplifying and summing up. Just go for it. There's never going to be a good time. I totally hear that. The flip side, though, is not just the room in people's wallets and budgets, but I also wonder about just their ability to reach people, given the chatter. Like, again, like how much toy tube space, for example, and social media space is being taken up at the moment by Flipor and then AWOK. So at a certain point, I feel like it might be helpful to maybe put it off a month. But you're right. He's right that like new things are coming all the time. Anyway, that said, I think these figures are looking cool. I think my plan is to grab a couple of them based on what I'm seeing here. They've got good folks working on it. Nikki Nicole, one of my favorite Mythic Legions and Savage Crucible artists, customizers, did the paint masters for these. And so these are a couple of sort of the figures that they're doing that I'm most interested in. So this is a Hyperion Tracer. I like the mix of just sort of alien biology and species with the tech of the sort of like robot feet. If you haven't figured it out yet by watching me, I love lore. Don't get me wrong. I like a good story, but I'm also super duper visually oriented. So if it catches my eye and is interesting, I kind of almost don't necessarily even need the story because these are going to slot in on my shelf with my other toys anyways. And I've got loopy stories in my brain anyways. This was the first figure that I saw, the Grishk. I want to say this came out of PowerCon when I first noticed these, or shortly before then, last year. Again, just a cool figure. It's a taller, more slender build too, which is just a little bit different from some of the other things that are out right now. Love how that looks. And then there's a third one that I'm kind of interested in, and that's this one, the Starshock Commando. They all seem to have the same lower half, and then some mix and match of parts reuse in the, on the upper half, and then different heads. These, in my mind, slot right in with Cosmic Legions for sure, but also even Masters of the Universe. And I've got this weird thing of a mix of like medieval looking things and sci-fi looking things, because again, Masters of the Universe and New Gods and all of those things where they mix sort of sci-fi and sword and sorcery, whatever. So I'm into it. Again, it's just a lot of stuff. And that's actually not the only thing that's also on Kickstarter. There's this. Speaking of sci-fi, man, look at this. If you're familiar with the Expanse, great books. There was a really good series that honestly, I don't think I made it past the second season yet. And not because I didn't like it, but just because I lost track. There's so much good content. And so the Expanse, so N.E.W.S, sorry, that's what I was trying to go. N.E.W.S, for the folks of the Toys Who Made Us, as well as they recently have brought back Sectars and Roboforce and Biker Mice from Mars, are apparently kickstarting to do the Expanse license, and they're looking for 225,000. They have 32 days to go. I think this just kicked off. And so they've got 97,000 so far out of 389 backers. So this thing is moving. Just because of time, I'm going to kind of move a little bit through this quickly, but the renders look great. These characters are awesome. And the overall production design of the show is cool. It's like super hard sci-fi. So not a whole lot of fantasy in it at all. There's fantastic things, but it's very much rooted in realistic science and physics. Yeah, and even sort of like history and sociology. But anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of variety in the figures as well. You've got space-suited folks. You've got, folks in sort of civvies, but I guess future civvies. You've got alien-looking things, which is maybe a little bit of a spoiler if you're not watching the show, but that's okay. So this is a thing. And I've said it a bunch of times, man. Just like it's a crazy time for toy collectors because there are toys from all sorts of different properties, including brand new IP, just popping up all over the place. So there you go. I will say, Nacelle, well, I'll just say that from where I stand and some of the things that I've seen, I haven't yet been like super excited about their figures. But who knows? They're going to get better with each one. And I just think these sculpts look fantastic. Man, she looks so good. Anyways, but again, these are renders, so we'll see. So, yeah, man, Kickstarters. And still, this isn't the only one that's on my radar. There's Brutal Realm. And we've been talking about Brutal Realm pretty much like consistently since I first saw these things. These I heard from from the Brutal Realms people. Sorry, I was trying to watch the chat at the same time. This was also looking to launch, like, I thought around now, when I first heard about it a couple weeks back. So there could be a million reasons why it hasn't yet. And so they're going to do it when they're ready. And I guess I'm selfishly not wanting this necessarily to get lost in the sauce with all these other amazing Kickstarters, because I really want to see this thing happen. Hey, look, that's us. So yeah, man, Brutal Realm is definitely one I'm looking forward to. I won't spend too much time talking about it here, but the point is, man, there's a lot of Kickstarters coming. There's a lot of great toys coming. Brian Brink's all about that Expanse. So there's a ton of great stuff coming. So there you go. I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's go ahead and move. I'm watching the time because I do want to be done relatively soon. I was said an hour, but I don't think it's going to be an hour. I'm just going to quickly say this. G.I. Joe Classified has been teasing this figure for a while now, and they finally, in their stream, was it last week, said, yep, it's going up for pre-sale. Get ready to order. And me, I'm not a classified collector. I have one classified figure, the original Destro. That's not true. I won a Profit Director Destro that I'm sitting on still. And I bought the Baroness movie figure. So that's it. My brother, who you all met a couple weeks back, is the classified collector in the family, and I just enjoy his. But when I saw the Jinx, man, you've heard me say this before. Every time I see a G.I. Joe classified figure, I'm just jealous because I collect some of the Mattel Masterverse figures. And I'm just incredibly jealous at what Hasbro pulls off with these head sculpts. They're fantastic. And this one in particular, I just think is amazing. I think her whole redesign is great. The tattoo's great. I love the whole like form-fitting piece that is this blindfold that comes off. The face sculpt on this is fantastic. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, there's more of that. There's her full-on ninja head. Anyway, there's a bunch of great figures, including this torch figure that looks amazing. But I'm not a big Joe collector, and so oops. Oh, great. And that's where I get screwed up by Hasbro Pulse's website. Let's see. Come on, show me the unmasked head, because man, this face on this Jinx figure is epic. I think she looks fantastic. I love her hair. She's going to run a little smaller than most of the stuff on my shelf, but it's okay because because she's dope. All right. So I'm curious. So we've got folks of the stuff that I just quickly showed. People are definitely into some of the stuff that I've shown. So like, yeah, Thanos wasn't expecting the brutal realm. It's up Speaking Moistly's alley for sure. Jinx is a maze, must have many, says Allison. Man. Oh, and again, thank you for continuing to tease this, Alpha Magnus. Alpha Magnus is working on some figures as well that are going to be coming to Kickstarter, folks. So amazing times to be a toy collector. All right. So that's it for my classified thing. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk something different. Let's talk about some awesome Mythic Legions armor designs by Blackbeard Tatch. He created this set of armor to basically recreate Ornstein, the Dragon Slayer, from Dark Souls. Not something I'm at all familiar with. I'm familiar with what Dark Souls is, but I didn't follow it. But I saw this and this armor. I think it's so cool. Just a completely different silhouette from most of the armor we see. Definitely a lot more, I'd say, sort of like Japanese inspired with the detailing. I don't mean Japanese culture. I mean Japanese anime and the way they sort of filter the world in their art, I would say. But this is something that is available now. So definitely, if you're interested or curious to see more, go check out Blackbeard Tatch on Instagram. And here was the announcement page, $70 for the armor. This is everything that you get. I think it's just such a unique looking armor set. So even if you don't know the character, it's just cool. Moving on. Storm Collectibles still has a Street Fighter license, and definitely, clearly differentiating from Jada with this release, because Jada is mainly the first incarnations of the game. This is now Street Fighter 6. This is Ryu being grizzled, looking a little bit like Batista, in my opinion. I think this is a really cool figure. They sort of showed this past week, and why I wanted to bring it up again is because for those of us that have been paying attention to this figure, it's a little bit different from what we saw when it was first sort of shown. So here's a left right that Chamba from Toy Migos put together over on the Discord, over on the Toy Migos Discord. On the left is what they revealed at a toy show to promote it, and on the right is what they revealed this week. And so you'll notice we're ditching this sculpted hunk of plastic in favor of some soft goods and that cool plastic ring, which I appreciate because it'll move for posing, especially given the dynamic nature of these. If you know Storm Collectibles, they pose beautifully. And so it's just going to be weird to me to have this thing just sort of be static and stuck. They changed the face up a little bit more, a little less Batista, but still, Batista depending on his level of grooming, I guess. Yeah. So that's all. I love Storm Collectibles. I don't know that I'm going to be getting this guy because he's a very large, but his overall look would definitely fit on my shelf, believe it or not. I love this mix of this sort of, I don't know, toga or something. And actually, I should say more like a monk wrap and his gi pants. So anyway, that's all. I love Storm Collectibles. This looked really cool. I'm always intrigued by sort of seeing the beginning version of a figure and then how it evolves. I'm with you, Thanos. I think the newer one looks better. I am a sucker for soft goods Game Quest as well. I too am still loving Jada. They run smaller, but they're so good that I had to get two of them. I have Fei Long and Chun Li. They're so fun to play with. But but yeah, I'm also sort of waiting to see what they come up with, especially Dalsim. And I want to see Dalsim. I want to see their take on the bigger characters like Zangief. So what's up, collecting brothers? Yeah, man. Yoked Jesus Ryu, or Jesus Ryu with the soft goods. Absolutely. That sums it up pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm curious about Sagat. I'm super curious about Sagat in Jada too. So anyway, good stuff. Still waiting for on Ken. Oh, I just realized as we're talking, man, I wish I'd. Anyways, I'm not prepared for it, but Duarte Studios has a dope thing. Anyways, we'll see if we have time. Let's move on, folks. Let's talk barbarians because I like my share of buff naked dudes. Nightmare Studio and YFAT Studio, YFAT being the folks behind D20, I want to say, or at least a sculptor behind some of the D20 wolves and boars and griffins. They showed this a while back, and I've showed it here on the channel, but it is now available for pre-order. It's another barbarian, your sort of sword sandal, can fit in fairly well, of course, with all the mythic legions and on. But definitely a little bit more video game inspired. I don't know if this is from a game. I don't believe it is, but it very much feels like the art direction of God of War kind of a thing. Some cool stuff going on. I prefer this head than the others. I am just always kind of curious to see how others handle articulation. So I don't know that I'll get this, but I'll be watching it just because it's a little too similar to many of the things that I have. The fun thing, or I'd say weird in my opinion, thing with this is the feet. I was teasing it when they first came out based on the concept art that they look like he was wearing like furry slippers, but apparently they're steel looking bear claw things. So there's that. You can pre-order it from $5K. There's a $26 deposit, and the full price will be $70 plus shipping. Oh, apparently after December 6th, 2023. I don't remember this going up earlier, but whatever. Maybe I missed it. Either way, that's the deal. I think it's pretty cool that we're getting even more options when it comes to these types of figures. At the end of the day, I just think it just helps people step their game up. This armor looks pretty awesome. The paint jobs look great. So yeah, it's getting crowded for sure. And what I like about this kind of crowded is when folks like these throw their hat in, you can tell that they're not gonna they're going all in as far as sculpt work goes and accessories go, and likely articulation and paint. So yeah. Anyway, kind of begs the question: at what point do we get too many half naked dudes with swords and axes? I don't know, but as you all know, I'm kind of in it. It's either that or sort of fantasy genre or animals for reasons. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Rick's points out as far as if you're looking for like a comparison between Jada and Storm, Jada's definitely going more for the actual translation of the video game, which you see on the screen. And Storm Collectible is definitely going more with the art. Speaking of buff naked dudes, fine, Chris. I'll talk about wrestling because I actually know who you're talking about. Tonight is Sting's last match for us wrestling nerds. So is he retiring? I actually know who Sting is back in the day from the WCW when he had short, like a flat top and looked like the Ultimate Warrior. So is that what this is, Renders? Is this from Diablo 3? If so, I had no idea. But there you go. Apparently it is. Thanks, Rick. So there you go. Apparently he is a it's a not Diablo figure. And then you can never get too many naked yoked dudes naked. Well, I think after a while you can, and so that's why you need some of this in your life, right? A little bit more extra flesh around the midsection. This, friends, is not Bebop from the not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line by Rage Toys, which was once called Fury Toys, which released such turtles as Autumn and Summer, and I believe Spring. They've got the Master, which is not Splinter. If you're confused, I'm sorry. But basically, it's a third-party, unlicensed Ninja Turtles line. And this is them teasing a Bebop. So 5K, who will carry these eventually, just wanted to give you that little bit of a preview. So they're going hard on this, not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And yes, once again, not to be confused with Fury Planet. Stop it. I know what you're doing. It's Fury Planet is the line. The company is Maestro Union. Yes. And I wish I had picked up the Not Leo. Wasn't on his radar till it was too late. I had him and I canceled my pre-order. But anyway, all right. Let's see, man, we're probably barely going to get through this. Let's see, what else do we want to go? I'm going to skip that. Calling an audible, Thanos, so you can skip that one. Yeah, I think we can skip a lot of these. There's stuff that you all should know about, but it's okay if you don't. Oh, well. This is one that kind of surprised Brick because when these showed up at 5K, you get an email that says, hey, second payment is now due. You paid your deposit. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss it. So it sits there and you just wait. Apparently 2 days after I got that, I was also informed that my second payment for this guy is due because these are shipping. So they're shipping now and mine should be on its way. And it's available now to order if you're curious. But what intrigued me about this guy, so this is a Warcraft Guardian of the Horde by Mithril Action. Again, not licensed, to be fair and clear. But what intrigued me was the samurai gear on this orc. Man, the Incredible Hulk in feudal Japan. So just want to let you know that this is available. If you pre-ordered it, you might be like me and missed it. Likely not, because you're more responsible than me. But it's also available to order now, and there are reviews out there if you want to check it out. But it looks like a promising figure, and I just needed to sample a little bit of Mithril Action in my life. Okay, man, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be cut out today, but that's okay. Let me do this, folks. I got on this kick of matte paintings. So if you are into filmmaking at all, you might be familiar with the practice of matte painting. For example, the original Star Wars figures, pre-CGI, and even modern ones too. People don't realize matte painters are involved. These are folks like Chris Evans. Chris Evans, Mike Pangrazio, Frank Ordaz, Harrison Ellenshaw, and Ralph McQuarrie. Yes, that Ralph McQuarrie. Were all painters who painted these huge paintings that were eventually shot and dropped into scenes for the Star Wars film. So you'll see here, if you watch Return of the Jedi and remember this Tidarian shuttle landing into the, did I say that right? Whatever. Into the Death Star 2, like this was all painted. Those aren't actual people. This is before we had computers, like throwing in stormtroopers. These were all hand painted, as you see here. And a lot of people don't realize that. The trompe l'oeil, the sort of like the fooling of the eye, right, is fantastic. It's so photorealistic that you wouldn't, your brain doesn't necessarily go, oh my God, that's fake. Man, when you watch these things, like I challenge you to try and figure out what's a matte painting or not. But that was all flat painting. Fantastic. And I'm intrigued by art in general, but to wrap my head around like filmmaking processes and everything that's involved is fantastic. There's a Hoth scene. Again, most people don't realize that was all hand painted. So you see this here's the backdrop, and then you see the handmade models and miniatures, but that's the backdrop, and it works. It totally worked for those films, man. Here's some more. There's the Falcon landing in Bespin. Yeah, don't know if people realize like that was a painting that you were looking at. Look at this stuff. Anyway, just I wanted to do that. It's kind of a little bit of a shift, I know, from what I normally talk about. But man, we talk Star Wars here every now and then because we're big old nerds. You can see it's done on glass so that they can do layers and maybe even do some parallaxing. It's an amazing art form, and I'm just blown away by the crafts involved in this. Anyway, there's that first one. That was an Instagram post. And then there's this that I'm not going to go through it all. But if you wanted to know what the 11 greatest matte paintings of all time, according to at least 10 made data of Toolbox Studios, and I actually agree with some of these, including one of my favorite films ever made, Mary Poppins. Ghostbusters 2's in here. Earthquake. Oh, God, that movie. Neverending Story. Ben-Hur. And I'll stop there and tease it for you to go check out. So matte painting, folks, it's a thing. Let's actually, yeah, I'm going to skip that as well. And I'm going to go over here and say this. Sugar, you tripping. I appreciate Neo Black Phoenix for breaking it down because this is something that's been happening. People are all complaining up in arms when they saw that X-Men 97 trailer, claiming that Disney's like somehow, against the whole woke. They're forcing us to be respectful of women or whatever it is. But they're accusing those folks of shrinking Rogue's butt. Right. They're saying that, man, it's so unfair. Why won't you just let us have the big butt of the 90s? Basically, yes, there was this infamous scene where Rogue's butt was particularly large, as seen here in front of Apocalypse. But then Neo Black Phoenix just felt the need to bring some receipts and smack people around. Like, just take a look. If you look at most of the shots from the thing, if anything, the enlarged booty was probably somebody going a little crazy in the among the artists for that particular scene. But the butt wasn't always that big. Anyway, it's not even whatever, big, small. That's not the point. The point is like, man, folks, grow up. Like, don't assume that everyone's against you. Too many stupid conspiracy theories right now, and folks just need to just I don't know, man. Read a book. I will fight everyone who is mad about X-Men being woke. Yeah, man. Just because they're not paying attention. And yes, it's quote unquote, it's woke to stop being shitty to women. Yeah, either way, like whatever. If I'm fine either way. It's just what trips me out is that people are making the accusations and like turning it into a thing. Anyway, I'm actually kind of bummed that I've even spent that much time on it. So allow me to move on. Last time, well, let me actually just show you this. Yo, is that a real dinosaur? WTF, what is going on? That thing is awesome looking, and it's not CG. It's fully practical. What the hell's going on? If you were watching last time when I was with Steph, I shared something similar. Here's the reveal. Man, this thing is a puppet. It's a puppet with a person, if you can see, driving here, reversing. And the way this thing works is as the wheels move, right? Those legs are triggered and they move backwards as well as some other awesome engineering. And then you see the top part of it is being run by a puppeteer who is coming into view right about here. And, I'm just blown away by this kind of stuff. Would love for you to check it out. This is these two people, the person operating the actual body here and driving around, and the puppeteer that's coming into view right now, man, they are living their best life. Congratulations to them. on being able to play with giant toys. All right. I am going to end tonight by looking at the work of one photographer. Let's do that. Let me go ahead and let's do a That's What's Up section to close out today's show. Let's focus on the art, or the photos, actually, I should say. The photography of Luis. What is Luis's last name? Luis Armendariz, aka Toy Fotografiando. I'm assuming Portuguese. And that's this dude. This is one of those things I've been meaning to show and just kind of keep running out of time. But I love his work, and I'll just show you a couple of things. Obviously, bringing up a love for some of the characters that many of us I know love. Here's He-Man with a dope head sculpt. It's a classics figure with a Masterverse Battle Cat, and just the photography and what he chooses, or what he chooses to sort of use depth of field with and blur the background and all that. I really appreciate. I'm assuming actually maybe some of that, that blurring is done digitally, but still super effective, dramatic posing of these figures and the way they sort of like compose in the shot. Gorgeous. And that's not the only photo, and that's why I want to focus on him for this. That's What's Up. Here's a Lion-O. I have this figure, and just being able to make it pose and look like this is a feat in of itself. But man, I think it's fantastic the way, again, setting it up in outside, blurring the background, blurring a little bit of the foreground, just cool stuff. And this is all with toys, the stuff we love. Again, even more toys. Here's his take on the Spider-Verse. God, this thing annoys me. I don't know how to get that away. Got Peter Parker and Miles chilling, getting ready to maybe meet each other. I love it. Here's another shot from the Spider-Verse. That is fantastic. I love the lighting in that little staircase. Just totally selling it. Respect to the toy photographers. I love what you do. So good. And just really like a whole new way of playing with your toys, and just a whole new way of getting us to kind of just be excited about toys. Here's some Nightmare on Elm Street. I think this is a NECA figure, but again, just looks really cool. So cinematic looking. I love the recreation of this sort of vibe from the movies. Come on now. We got Shredder. I think a different photographer would be just excited to show off the sculpt and how the character looks like. But I love that Luis is like, let me put this thing in the shadows, which makes perfect sense. Love the setup. Talk about atmosphere in this one. Rocketeer. Gorgeous. I love everything that's going on in the foreground there. I don't know how he's achieving it, if that's all in camera or digital, but it's really cool regardless of how it's done. You know how I feel about He-Man. He's calling this one Viking He-Man with the unmasked Masterverse Battle Cat. Again, that smart choices with the blurring. I think this photo maybe even looks better than the actual toy. Last but not least, we'll close out with the epic battle. Hopefully just training. But there's a comic book if you want to see this actually play out, of Masters of the Universe versus Thundercats, He-Man versus Lion-O. All right, folks. Were you entertained? I hope you all had a good time just kind of checking stuff out with me today. I agree that Rocketeer shot was awesome. What else do I want to tell you before we leave? Hey, you know what? Actually, one thing. If I've been working on these shorts that I've been doing regularly, and if you haven't noticed that, because I know not a lot of people pay attention to shorts, I have a playlist of the shorts. I call my shorts a little something something because, get it, they're small. And I credit Allison Troy for hipping me to shorts and how to use shorts, because she does that with her coloring. They're nothing. They're simple. I throw them on a turntable, and you just kind of see the figures. But what's been great for me with these shorts is that it's been an opportunity for me to just look at my toys and document the toys that I have. And I've shared this before, that I feel like when I do this, it's like I get to look at like all those 80s, 70s card backs, and it's like me looking at my toy collection kind of, and being like, ooh, I want that one. I want that one. And, it's kind of cool for me to document these things. And I would love it if you didn't know these existed. I'd appreciate it if you maybe check out that playlist or just check out my shorts feed. I try to upload them every couple of days. Sometimes I go in daily on sort of daily runs, and some days I'll take a couple of days off. But there's plenty of back catalog if you haven't seen. If you're following me on Instagram, you're probably like, yeah, I kind of see these on Instagram. So those are a little bit behind. So there's stuff that's here on YouTube that has been around for months, well ahead of what's going on Instagram and TikTok. Because really the YouTube thing is my main thing. And so here's that one classified figure I have. So yeah, check them out. I have a blast with them, and you'll probably notice like some of the newer figures are here that I showed at the beginning of this stream, like I hope you're not getting motion sickness, but like this Minotaur, right? So my thing is I grab the toy, I unbox it, and I actually have been filming full-on unbox something reviews of these things, but I don't edit them, and I got to. So every one you see here, that probably means there's an unbox something thing that is going to come out. Usually summer is when I'm going to have a lot more time to do some editing. But in the meantime, this is my way of just sort of showing you what I've been looking at, figures I've been getting, figures, and some of these are older. Like this is a figure that I've had since 2001. So I just wanted to share that with you all, since I'm alone today, and I figured I'd be my own, I'd share my own work. So I'd appreciate it if you check that out if you haven't already. I'm having a blast with them. One of my favorite things is adding music to it. So yeah, so go check it out. That said, you know what you all need to do now is to head over to Geek Dad Life, because we're going to hear about the AWOK Kickstarter in like 3 minutes. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's here right now. I really appreciate you coming through. Go check out Adam and Highly Articulated from Highly Articulated. That's going to be over there at Geek Dad Life, along with Jason and I forget who else. Is it Drew, I think, from Animal Warriors of the King there with Jay Gladwell. So as always, I appreciate you coming through here to the Brick Something channel. Peace and power and all those things. I'll see you next Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, where I'll be here with Toy Box of Doom, Drew. And then we'll start talking about the collection Nexus. So again, shout out and love to Jonathan. Again, hope everything's good with you, friend. HedgeHogAction. If why not go over there right now and subscribe, because he does great stuff. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop rambling. Thank you again. I appreciate you all. Everybody have a wonderful week. All right. Bye-bye.